Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's career mode. We're on episode 91. For the second time in a row, I recorded these episodes back to back. Had the same audio problem that I had on the previous one, so I'm re-recording the voiceover now. But unlike the previous time that this happened a while back, this time I've got the video to go along with it to overlap over top of the original video recording. So anyway, this is recorded after the fact. We are at Amstel Gold. We've got a couple of classics that we're going to get through rather quickly today. It's been a really busy week for me. But anyway, Amstel Gold, it's a classic, but it's not a cobbled classic. It's your punchy kind of classic. And as we slow things down here inside the final 50 kilometers, we definitely have a situation that we're not as well built for as we were a couple seasons ago. For one, I had a couple of those top punchers that we ultimately let go because we didn't want to pay what it was that they were trying to charge when they were just, okay. And the replacements that have come along in their stead, making much less money, so for us that's good. And they're almost just as good as what those guys were. But overall, we are slightly worse when it comes to our quality as a punchy team than we were about 2 seasons ago. That being said, this race has been a lot more difficult than I expected it to be. It's got that undulation throughout, so there's a lot of up, down, but it's not much climbing involved here. And ultimately, I looked at it and kind of went, yeah, this should be down to some of the punchier sprinters, your Michael Matthews types that can just about climb. Peter Sagan, that can just about climb and hang in for a while and then be the quick man at the end who can actually sprint. Julian Alaphilippe, another example, who is fantastic. Mark Hershey. So there's a lot of specific types of punchers who would excel on a stage like this one. But surprisingly, the tempo has been really, really hot from the very beginning. There was no breakaway left here, and you can see I've already got riders getting dropped off. Gonzalez Albiol is here. Great climber, terrible puncher. He's got a 70 hills rating. He's out the back. He was on a -1, so we used him as a domestique. You can see a lot of my guys, especially the domestiques, are totally wasted here as we now have 25k to go. And they're continuing. The push right now is intense. My guys are going between an 88 and 93. And they're struggling at the back of this peloton right now. Jurcevic, great example right now, that we are trying to conserve his legs for the end. And it's just not really happening. So what I do have is I have my couple of punchier kind of guys. Igashin, Lukshi's. And then I have a sprinter kind of guy who can climb just a little bit. And that is Jurcevic. Jurcevic was my hope to pull things together. And looking at that race day condition as Kikochi here is just about done. I'm down to 3 guys, all with a +2 or +3 on the race day condition. Overall as a team, yeah, it's an okay day on that race day condition draw. But you can see as we're getting close here, profile-wise, there's one hard climb, but it's short. You hit it again and again and again, lap after lap, but it's only one climb, and as short as it is, we shouldn't be this far down the order right now. Trying to figure out which order to go with these guys, kind of navigating who's punchier, who's going to sprint. And Jurcevic and Lukshi's definitely are kind of the 2 guys that are best off. So Lukshi's, though, between the sprinting and everything, he's a guy we're going to ride for today. So we'll try to see if we can get Lukshi's towards the end. Igashin, meanwhile, has good resistance, but he's not a sprinter. He's not good enough in the sprint, so ultimately we'll see what we can do to get Lukshi's over the line first. Try to get as high placed as we can. Of course, we only have so many World Tour races this season. We just have not been getting the rate of invites that we got last season. Similar to the season before, really, even though we were barely qualifying for a World Tour this season. Yeah, it's weird. We're coming off that second place, but without Burlikov, we're just getting fewer invites. Okay, here's that harder climb, and we're using Yurcevic to lead things out to chase down those two guys and do what we can and see if we can escape. And at the moment, we have. But unfortunately, Luke he's off the back. So it's kind of a difficult situation. That's the best time to do something, to escape, to push, to slim that field down, and we ended up just having to sit up because the one guy we were trying to bring along didn't make it with us. So we sit back up. Those two guys open that gap even further, but they're now being pulled back. So lucky on that part. The other team's doing the work at the moment. For now, we're just hanging on. We got 13K to go, and Yurcevic is nearly done. Again, we're going to try to chase and get into that strong position near the front, but Yurcevic is out. I'm going to let him do his 99 there for a second while everybody else is trying to make up their mind who's going to come forward and chase. Now that they have, it's time for us to get on with it. Igashin, we're just going to hang on here at the moment. There's 9K to go, and Luxis and Igashin are both really getting down to the end. They don't have a lot left in the tank, and we got to try to just ease off as we get through here. There's only one little climb left here. This is it. This is going to be the final climb. From here, we want to try to get into the right position. That breakaway was caught. This is it, but there's another attack trying to come, and there's a good 6-7 guys that if we don't chase this down, those 6-7 guys are going to go clear and take the top 7 positions. Happens every time. The AI, at least on this difficulty anyway, will constantly do that. They will attack and let other teams go clear late on, knowing what the result is going to be. They never let you go, but they will always let the rest of the AI teams go. But anyway, 4K to go, coming up on the line. Luxis and Igashin both, nothing left in the tank. But looking at how they're doing, we have to swap them. Igashin has just that little bit more energy, and it's too late. There's no time to recover here. So Igashin is actually going to be a little bit better off, as Luxis is, well, we're sacrificing a lot of sprint capability, but at least we're going to be in the sprint instead of finishing at the back. One rider went clear. I think that was Alaphilippe. It looks like he's poised to win this thing. There was no way we could chase him down. And again, that's what I was talking about. The AI goes clear, and everybody just lets him go. Alaphilippe rides off into the sunset to claim the win with no one interested in the chase. And then Luxis all used up means Igashin has to go late, and has to go later than we would want him to. And he's not much of a sprinter, so not a great finish there. But it happens. We are now on to Flèche Wallonne, and we're only going to cover 2 stages today. It is what it is, but we are setting ourselves up for the next phase of the season. This will wrap up what we get for the Northern Classics. But with Flèche Wallonne, this one, a lot more punchy. This one's going to come down a lot more to somebody who can not just have punch and sprint, but somebody who can climb and has a bit of punch, especially as we hit the Mur de Huy the first time, one of those famed climbs in all of cycling. So you can see just how steep this is. I mean, we're hitting 17, 18, 19, 20% on this climb. It is crazy steep. It's going to level off near the top there. We're already having to increase our effort as we hit the Mur de Huy, the first of 3 times that we're going to do this one. And even though we still have a good 58 kilometers to go, the field is already starting to break up. Breakaway still has 2.5 minutes, so they've definitely not been caught yet. The intensity of the race has only just picked up in that last little bit, but with 60K to go, that's a long time with some really hard climbs. So presumably, if that continues, we're going to end up with a very small group by the finish. And I would say a lot more of your definite climbers as opposed to punchers really having a shot at it. Kikochi going back to get the water for us, going through this undulation area. There's a lot of it. It's a little spread out occasionally, but there's a lot of up and down to this one. 82, and we are blinking red quite a bit. We're struggling here quite a bit to get this one. But with 40K to go now, water taken care of. We don't have to worry about that the rest of the way. My domestiques for the day, they're right on the edge. They're right on the limit. We're going to see them fade here very quick, especially as another hill and another big acceleration. In fact, momentarily there, we had multiple splits. We have guys trying to escape. We have guys chasing it down hard, and this is taking a lot out of the legs. 35K to go now. Today we have Martin Guerrero, we have Karaman, we have Gonzalez Albiol. We have our top climbers, Kikochi. We are not going for the punchers today. I figured this is going to come down to the climbers, and at the tempo we've been at, that definitely seems to be the case. It's still, though, it's going to take a Burlikov, right? Our former man, a Bernal, a Mark Hershey, maybe. Alpha Leap, definitely. Guys that can climb and punch. And we don't really have that. Karaman's okay. He's definitely got a decent hills rating and obviously can climb. But overall, as a team, as a unit, I just don't know how much we're going to have left. You're seeing another attack here. Escape, 4 guys, 7 guys going clear. And that's now considered the front as, again, right over as we go over the top. Second time, Murdahui. That tempo is just taking so much out of these guys that suddenly we find ourselves down to just 4 riders. All the domestiques gone, and Kyokovchi barely anything left. And then I've got 3 guys, and all 3 of them are quite fatigued with 25K to go. That is going to be a very difficult task at this stage to have much left in the tank for a finish up the Murdahui that 3rd time, especially, where it's crazy steep, and definitely, the length of the climb is 2.5 times as long as what we had at the Amstel Gold Race. But here, kind of reassessing what we have, Kikochi, we're going to put him on protecting Gonzalez Albiol, who looks like second strong man of the day, a little bit stronger than Martin Guerrero anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put Martin Guerrero on Karaman now, so that Karaman has a little bit of extra protection as we go forward. And there's the breakaway. We've caught up to the breakaway on another hill and another big acceleration. Those punchers are just going deep. They are really trying to split this field up, and the splits are definitely coming often. It's yo-yoing a lot, but it hurts. I mean, every little hill, Madaway now attacking. Every little hill we have, somebody is attacking and putting pressure on. Fortunately, we are not the ones having to chase at this stage. They are chasing each other down at least, but we are definitely struggling to hold on. Down to just 13K, so we are getting a lot closer. Kikochi hung on this far. Martin Guerrero, not much left. Gonzalez Albiol, not much left, even though we were protecting him. But Karaman's looking okay. So Karaman definitely should be involved in the end on this one. But again, he is not a great combo climber puncher. So it's going to be a difficult one, but let's see if we can't at least crack the top 10. It'd be nice if we could do that. Also, Martin Guerrero and Karaman, not sure how. Maybe through conserving energy, but those two ended up way at the back of a now very small peloton of just 29. 3 riders off the front that we're chasing down, and that's back together. It's 34 actually at the moment, as a couple riders latch back on, and 57. It's yo-yoing a lot as we go through, but we're coming up on the end. That's your penultimate climb. We got to get over the top here. We'll descend one more time. I'm trying to ease forward, going 88 with Gonzalez Albiol, trying to use up what he's got left, but also not drain everything out of Karaman. But we've got to be near the front if we're going to have a chance, especially with our lack of punchiness. Unfortunately, Karaman, off the back, he's 4-5 bike lengths behind, so he's going to waste more energy to recover his position, and Gonzalez Albiol not able to push as hard as we would like him to, and we're seeing 3-4 riders again attacking as we are now finally starting to get back into that position. But Gonzalez Albiol already drained, so we've got Martin Guerrero to lead out Karaman for the finish, and they have that okay amount. But again, this time it's Martin Guerrero who loses the wheel a little bit. This road, very skinny positioning, really important, and our positioning's okay here, but it's definitely not perfect. Okay, on to Martin Guerrero, 99, not sprinting because, well, we're not great in the sprint, and as a result, it's kind of taken everything. But the sprint is on now. Unfortunately, you can already see we've dropped 10, 15, 20 bike lengths. Karaman, as he goes to make his sprint, as we're going to come up over the top of the steep parts of the Murdahui. He's going to recover some position a bit. There's no way he's getting near the front, though. He does recover nicely, but those guys who were strong enough to, on their own, climb and punch, you know, they continue on to the finish. Vlasov, Latour, Hayter, top 3. Yeah, those guys are really, really good at that. Karaman, 14th. Not quite a top 10. Okay result. Not bad. Top 10 would have been good. So it's not top 10, so somewhere in between. Just okay, so-so day. It is what it is on that. Let's go ahead and move forward, though. Before we wrap this episode up, we're going to take a look at the rankings. It's been a while since we checked in on these. Despite having limited opportunities, despite having no Burlikov around, we find ourselves in 9th place in the World Tour rankings as a Continental Pro team. That's good. We're 2nd in Continental rankings, even though I am literally skipping every single Continental race we've been involved in this season, bar 1, maybe? So the team on its own, the AI, gathering enough points to be 2nd in the Continental rankings. So that's solid. And in the Super Prestige, the one that really matters, we find ourselves in 8th place overall. It's good. And you can see there's definitely a gap behind us where things open up, and we are on the tail end of a tight group between 3rd and 8th. So we're not that far off the top, and we're doing that without our lead guy from a rider from last season. We really took a step back without Burlikov, and yet not so much. I mean, we're definitely doing okay. We seem to be scoring at a similar rate to last year, and I think that really comes down to those couple factors. A, we've lost Burlikov, so GC, yeah, we've come down a peg. But B, we're better in the sprint, we're better in the classics, we're hanging on in the punchiness category. And time trialing is a little better, a little stronger than it was. So it's just about balanced itself out in terms of scoring this season. And all in all, you got to say, successful season so far, all things considered. Let's hope we get enough development to see World Tour for next season, though, as that's the obvious progression and goal and where we want to be, where we want to stay, as we just haven't seen it yet. And getting these limited opportunities where they bar us from so many races hurts. But overall, good season so far. That's going to do it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.